Hey, my friends, here we are. Tom Young here for a podcast called Money Shifts on anchor.fm.com and for a live broadcast on Facebook at the Family Money Farm Group. It's been an awesome day. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. And did you remember to write down three things that you're thankful for, that you're grateful for in your life? We should do that every morning when we get out of bed and write down what we are grateful for today. Our topic today, I started reading a new book called War of Art by Steven Pressfield is the guy's name. What we're going to talk about it today because it shook me a little bit, and I read a lot of books, and this one, it just shook me a little bit because I'm going to share some personal thinking that goes on in my own mind, and maybe you can relate to it as we move forward today. Start every presentation with prayers for everybody touched by the Chinese virus. Came out of Wuhan lab that's operated by the CCP. I don't believe anything good can come out of that. Take it for whatever it's worth. It has affected people's health, challenged people. Loved ones have been lost, so our prayers go out for those that have had their health impaired, that they would be healed. We pray for those who have lost loved ones, and especially we on. Oh, there it is. This computer, my computer does crazy things. I don't have a staff. It's just me operating these things. And I'm getting better at it more every day. But bear with me. I'm sorry for the glitches and the challenges. I would ask you to subscribe, to follow me, to say, I like you. Give me a thumbs up when you watch my videos and what I talk about. This book that I started to read called the War of Art, and what it talks about is let me give you some examples. I'm 74 years old. I would relate that to being 11 now because at this point I add the numbers together because age doesn't really mean anything. I don't think I really have any more aches and pains today at 74 than I did at 38 years old when I weighed 285 pounds, smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, had the hourglass of time in my hand, and had a screwdriver jamming it, trying to make it go faster. I am blessed that the Lord allowed me to stop the cigarettes and the tobacco. My daughter is 40 years old as of February this year. I quit on her first birthday. So it's been more than 39 years since I quit the tobacco road. And I look at my life now and I say, well, why aren't I further than I am? I'm not where I once was. I'm glad of that. But I've had all these dreams and goals along the way that I have yet to make happen in my life. So there's this thing that goes on, and what Stephen talks about in his book is what he calls resistance. And an example of that would actually be procrastination. Procrastination is probably the worst detriment that we all have to deal with, because I believe the majority of us procrastinate a lot of stuff too much. But this, he called it resistance. In other words, the things that I know I should be doing, but I'm not doing. Why is that? And what he said, it's a resistance within us. In other words, we did a show the other day or last week about the enemy within. We are our own worst enemy. And that related to this concept of resistance inside you and I. And that resistance, it stops us from doing the things that we know we should be doing, but we're not doing. We allow procrastination and excuses to fill our lives with failures along the way. We just never get to that next step, that next level in our lives that is available to everybody. I struggle with this just as much as everybody else does. But I question, and I continue to read, I continue to work at growing me into the person that I need to be to overcome what I have now come to call the resistance in my life. I'm going to talk way more about this book because it had a significant impact on me last night. I started to read it. I couldn't put it down. I got through 20, 30 pages last night. And I got the idea of this resistance in my life. And I believe that this should strike a chord with everybody, because wherever you're at in life, or wherever I'm at in my life, I mean, I wanted to be a professional speaker. Now, I've done some professional talks, but it didn't click. In other words, it didn't start to happen. Why is that? Well, maybe it's because maybe I didn't make more contacts. I didn't reach out and talk to more people. I'm really a very reserved person. I like the idea, somebody says, well, they're shy. Well, what shyology class did they go to that led them to believe that they were shy? What I have learned in my life is shyness comes from lack of confidence. So we have to work on building our confidence with more confidence in what we're doing. In other words, the work that I do financially for people and the coaching that I do, I have been trained. I have gone through numerous classes and college courses to get to this moment in my life. I'm not yet where I want to be, but I'm not where I once was. And I will not quit, and I will not give up growing me until the Lord decides that I'm done. That is just the attitude that I have. I am grateful for where I am, for the blessings in my life. I am grateful for my family, especially my grandchildren, my 2 grandsons. What are you grateful for? And that confidence in whatever you're endeavoring to do takes courage. Where does courage come from? Okay? It's the opposite. We talk about encourage people, and we get discouraged. Don't use that word, discouraged. It is not a good word. We're all disappointed periodically in either our results or our children's results or the people around us. We are disappointed. But never, never, never allow yourself to become discouraged. That is not good at all. Get on with it. Kiss yesterday goodbye. You can't go back and do anything about it. You can't go back and change anything. All you can do is hopefully learn from yesterday what I did and what I didn't do, and now take the step to do what you know you should do. There was a book I read. I don't remember where I got it out of it, but in the book there was this idea, psychological idea, and you on a piece of paper, and I have it on my desk at home. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get started. In other words, it's just that mental thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it now. Get started. I have used that recently. I've talked about this book that I'm writing, that I am writing now. I've actually started to create the manuscript of the book. And I have a working name, a temporary name, The Scoundrels of Finance. That's the working title of the book. Now, what it may change to, I don't know, but right now, that is the working title of the book. And it goes back 100 years to the way it was in the early 1900s. And a young man named John, who was a genius growing up, went to Oxford in England and came back with the dream of creating a unique type of life insurance company, because at the turn of that century, life insurance companies were just now starting to come alive and be used, but there were some problems. There were referenced tontine insurance. I guess that was insurance that you bought, paid a premium, and when you needed a claim, they struggled to pay the claim. You struggled to get a claim paid. And in 1906 was the Armstrong Commission, which literally was going to shut down the life insurance industry because of all the thievery, the fraud, the fraudulent spending of policyholders' money in ways that didn't benefit policyholders. I think it's going to be an interesting book when I'm done with it. But back to our resistance. And you know what? In this book, I have been actually talking about this book for 3 years. I have a series of events in my mind that are part of this book, and I have verbally shared them with people dozens and dozens of times. But for some reason, I have resisted actually starting to create the book. Think about what I'm talking about today. Overcome your own resistance. What is it that is stopping you from becoming the awesome, unbelievable, successful, great person that we were all destined to become in God's eyes? Because God created us in his image with all power over all living things. Let's overcome the resistance in our lives, stop the procrastination, and start to make things happen. God bless you. Get my book, The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project. There it is going overhead. Go to cfo-project.com, put in your email address and name, and you will get an email with a link in it to download that book cover to cover, plus the new bonus book called Financial Mastery Coaching, the Blueprint. This is all about coaching you folks. Tell people about my site. Tell people about me. I am about to change the world as we know it today in savings and finance and financial security and success. God bless you all. And we are entering the greatest time of year, the Christmas season, and the birth of Christ, the most prominent day of all time. God bless you all. We'll see you again in the near future.